The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Thursday. It is May 5th, 2022, and welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. We have continuing coverage of the draft that was leaked from the Supreme Court, indicating their intention on repealing or overturning, rather, Roe versus Wade. We will be joined by our partners at ACT TV, who will be joining us directly from the Supreme Court. Jocelyn McCurdy-Keats will be joining us momentarily, and we'll be speaking with her and the rest of the team about what's going on, particularly about the conversation now as it pertains to the many justices who lied under oath when they testified in their Senate confirmation hearings, from Clarence Thomas all the way to Amy Coney Barrett. We have a long litany of conservative justices who, without question, lied in their testimony before the Senate. And we have the evidence now, by virtue of their arguments, that they had no intention of ever holding true to what they testified before Congress, which was, or before the Senate, rather, which was that Roe was a settled decision. Every conservative justice that voted or that is going to strike down Roe versus Wade made it clear that when they were confirmed that they would stand by that decision, which constitutes perjury. We'll be discussing that in many different angles. Georgia Ford will be joining us during On the Clock. Rebecca Zor and DJ Exclusive. The whole family is here, with the exception of Dr. Carl Mack, who is out for the entire month as he diligently prepares Black Heritage Days 5 and 6, the Black Women's History, 366 days of Black Women's History, along with 366 days of Black sports history. He is doing the diligent work there. He has left us, as always, with a moment in Black history. So, hey, Google, what happened today in Black history?
On May 5, 1961, in a mission known as Mercury Redstone 3, astronaut Alan Shepard became the first American launched into space. The trajectory for the mission was calculated by a hidden figure known as Creola Katherine Johnson. She would later calculate the launch window for Shepard's 1961 Mercury mission and the 1969 Apollo 11 mission, which landed the first human on the moon. Katherine retired from NASA in 1986, and on November 24, 2015, President Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Adapted from Black Heritage Day calendar by author, lecturer and civil rights activist Dr. Carl Mack.
And again, you can get a copy of this calendar that we go through every single day by going to blackheritagedays.com. This is reading directly from Black Heritage Days 4. And Dr. Mack is working on 5 and 6. We want to ground everything that we do in history, because if we turn away from history, then we may forget the promises that were made by politicians, elected officials, and justices when they testified before the Supreme Court. Joining us now is Jocelyn McCurdy-Keats. She is the D.C. correspondent for ACT TV. She's joining us now live outside of the Supreme Court. Good morning to you, Jocelyn. Thank you so much for being on the ground. I understand you tried to get there yesterday, but there were so many people there. Tell us about the environment and what's going on the ground.
Well, good morning, Ben. I wish it were better to be here. You were actually the first person that alerted me to what was going on. I received that text. I was like, he's kidding, right? This is a joke. This is a No, it's all very real. As you can see, the Supreme Court behind us is becoming progressively more blocked off. We've been covering protests on the ground here for years. I have never seen anything like this.
You know, there are protests all over the country. Because, you know, I'm not sure. I don't want to get too much into the political conversation about it, because some people seem to be surprised by this, while a lot of us are not surprised by this. We saw this coming. But setting the political debate and argument aside, what is happening now in terms of Justice Roberts? There's an investigation that's going on into the draft that was leaked, because this in and of itself is unprecedented. We've never had a decision leaked beforehand. What is the word on the ground as it pertains to that?
Well, and that's that's a thing. I mean, this is proof for a lot of people, even conservatives, that the Supreme Court has become radically politicized, which is the whole thing. That's its whole thing. That it's nonpartisan, it's neutral, it's this higher transcendent legal body that can sit in objective truth, and that we're seeing the exact opposite. It's like you were saying, Ben, in your intro, people that stood before Congress and said, of course we would never act against the law of the people, of course we would never strike down a codified right that people have enjoyed since 1973, are in fact doing that right now before our eyes. And it was leaked to the people through Politico, and now the entire body is being investigated, as it should be, because it's tempting to think that this was a progressive warrior who just really wanted to let the people know, but it's just as likely the opposite. Somebody conservative who wanted to make sure these justices were on record as being anti-Roe, anti-women, so they couldn't back down from their positions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because these positions that they're holding now are completely contrary. The most recent, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, there are just a litany of conservatives on that bench right now who have gone against what they said. I want to play a clip here of Joe Biden as he responded full-throated response. Let's take a listen to the president on news of this draft opinion from the Supreme Court.
Do you think that this leak has irreparably changed the court? We've never seen this happen before.
Well, if this decision holds, it's really quite a radical decision. And again, I've not had a chance to thoroughly go into the report, but it basically says all the decisions relating to your private life, who you marry, whether or not you decide to conceive a child or not, whether or not you can have an abortion, a range of other decisions, whether or not how you raise your child. What does this do? And does this mean that in Florida they can decide they're going to pass a law saying that same-sex marriage is not permissible? It's against the law in Florida? So there's it's a fundamental shift in American jurisprudence.
Jocelyn, it is a fundamental shift. Let's get to the implications here, because there seem to be some people who don't think that this is a major issue because perhaps maybe they're a man and they don't feel like an abortion is a major issue for them. But this goes beyond abortions.
Well, it absolutely does, Ben. And the only time the Supreme Court has overturned precedents in the past, it was to expand personal liberty, to get rid of segregation, to protect people's ability to pursue a progressive future. This is the first time in history that the Supreme Court has struck down a precedent to roll back the people's ability to have control over their own destinies. And that should terrify you no matter what your gender is. Will and I were here speaking with people at the court yesterday, and I was having this conversation with so many people. It doesn't matter whether you have a uterus or not. You should be really concerned that the highest body in the land is telling you what medical decisions you can and can't make with your body.
And this amid the backdrop, obviously, of the January 6ers who protested, the anti-vaxxers, this entire movement, this entire cabal of people who insist that they want autonomy over their body, with the exception of a woman's right to choose. As you said, you talk to people on the ground. Where are we going in terms of the energy? Because there are protests all over the country. We have footage coming out of Minneapolis. Does it feel like there is enough visceral reaction to this for the people to galvanize and actually show up?
Oh, absolutely. I've been happy is the wrong word when you're talking about an issue like this, but it's been very heartwarming to see the massive numbers of people turning out and the organizations that are getting their cards together and organizing for actions over the coming months, because the decision will likely be in June. And people are not going to accept this quietly. We're talking to mothers who have taken in a good way for granted the right to have control over their bodies, and now have daughters who may enjoy less opportunity than they did. This is unprecedented. It's a backlash against women gaining in education and political and financial power, and it's a massive one. And it's something that even if you aren't a woman, you want to live in a country where women have equal power, because we've seen what happens when privileged white men make all of the decisions. It is leading us literally into climate existential peril. We need everybody at the table, and when women are having babies at 21, that's not something they can do. This reproductive justice has created a more equal future for all of us, whether or not you want an abortion or have had an abortion. The fact that women can delay mothering till a time that's right for them, the fact that that has become a socially normal phenomenon, has created a world that is more equal for everybody.
Absolutely. This next clip is Vice President Kamala Harris as she gives a full-throated repudiation of this draft decision. Let's take a listen in.
Women would lose access to abortion immediately and outright. Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms?
In terms of action, Jocelyn, do we feel that the Democratic Party is up to doing what is necessary, which is going to include abolishing the filibuster, which is going to include codifying through Congress Roe versus Wade? Do you feel like there is enough energy in the Democratic Party to actually tackle these things that they've been putting off for so long? Did we lose Jocelyn? Okay. All right. We'll come back to Jocelyn once we get that connection back up. I want to actually dig in a little bit deeper because this is what I have been describing and some scholars have been describing for some time. This is the big push from Christo-fascists, theocratic fascists, religious zealots who believe that this is the end time and that their particular dogma is the exact and precise religious dogma that must be in power in this country. Now, mind you, there are all types of religions, clearly all types of denominations of Christianity, and we're talking about a thread of Christianity that would annihilate every other version, including my own. So it doesn't matter if you are a Christian and you profess Jesus. It doesn't matter. These people are as dangerous to every other Christian as ISIS is to every other Muslim. I want to make sure that we understand who and what we're dealing with, and we do not have time to play around with respectability politics or being kind when we have a belligerent group of fascists who are fastly taking over this country, as evidenced by this clip. I want to play a clip of a religious gathering that took place over the weekend at a megachurch, which shows the alignment between and by Jocelyn McCurdy Keats, who is joining us live from Washington, D.C., outside of the Supreme Court. Jocelyn, thank you for being there. We were cut off in the conversation as it pertains to the Democratic Party. And are they ready to do what's necessary to fight back against this? I want you to just pick up right there.
I am not hopeful, Ben, about their ability to abolish the filibuster because they couldn't do it for voting rights. They can't seem to do it for the climate. They can't seem to do it for Build Back Better. But the good news is that we are seeing a lot of mobilization in the states to protect women. And so what we're seeing happen is this bizarre pattern of red states making abortion virtually inaccessible and blue states moving to become sanctuary states for people who need health care. And it's obviously better than nothing, but it is surreal to watch this happen in real time.
Yeah, especially when we have a political party that has all the power. They have the White House, they have the Senate, and they have the Congress. If they moved right now, they could protect women's rights. Let's talk about the action. Let's talk about the movement, the groundswell, Act TV. I know Act TV is going to be out in front of this with petitions and drives. Just, what can we do? Because I think what's happening right now, a lot of people feel helpless. And to be quite honest, those of us who have been watching this for some time and those of us who have seen this coming along the pipe, I understand that feeling, but we have to organize.
Absolutely. And, perhaps one way of looking at it is maybe this is a time for us to be less cynical than ever because our individual actions matter more. When we're relying on each other and mutual aid networks to make sure that everybody in our communities can receive the care they need, that means it's our time to step up. We can't rest on cynicism. We can't rest on despair. And yes, we should absolutely be organizing and calling our senators because it's absolutely better than nothing. They might do the right thing. Let's not put it past them. There is no social success in history that was statistically likely. So we do need to be pushing to end the filibuster, pushing the Senate to act. The House is already doing their part. And at the same time, being incredibly present with our communities, donating to local abortion clinics, because those are going to become the actors for justice in the years ahead. If Roe is struck down, which again, it's looking very likely that is what will happen.
So sorry, everybody. It seems like we're having a few technical...
Quite honestly, Steve.
Technical difficulties with Ben. Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining us today, being on location. Whenever we're live, you never know what's bound to happen. But we just wanted to say thank you to you and our partners over at ACT for being with us today.
Thank you so much to all of you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Baby, you set my soul on fire. Every morning and every evening. And maybe we can't get any higher. But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Making you move, it sure looks good. Playing it cool like you know you should. Put on a smile that's one of a kind. And I can't get you off my mind. I'm running too hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground. I'm running too hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground.
This morning, we examine what's taking place with Roe versus Wade. For nearly 50 years, women have had the right to choose. They have been able to decide the future of their bodies, the future of their homes, and in some cases, the future of their lives. In some instances, women are faced with a very complex choice of whether or not to save their baby or save themselves. And up until now, since at least about the 70s, women have been able to make that choice for themselves. However, with the decision looming on whether or not the Supreme Court is going to overturn Roe versus Wade, many women are feeling like that choice is being taken from them. In fact, we're seeing thousands of people, men and women alike, take the streets across the country to protest the idea of Roe versus Wade being overturned. Here in Minnesota, in both St. Paul and Minneapolis, we've been seeing protests. I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at the two emergency rallies that took place when the news first came out.
Why are we here today arguing this over and over again? The lawmakers who claim to care about life are word-vomiting bullshit. Of course, they don't actually care about the well-being of any fetuses and soon-to-be newborns. Not at all. This This much is apparent in the disgusting lack of investment in social policies such as universal health care, the inaccessibility of our infrastructure, and the disinvestment in public education.
Women embody various identities and affinities, and just uterus having people in general. If we look around, we will see that there is no singular definition of what it means to be a woman. And it's harsh, but we also know that not all women are treated the same. Not all assigned female at birth people are treated the same. Indigenous women, poor women, disabled people, black and brown people, trans and non-binary people. The farther one is from the ideal person, the greater discrimination and abuse one can face. We're demanding everyone be treated with humanity and not with discrimination.
They assured us that we were secure because we had this untouchable line of defense in Roe v. Wade. But the truth is that they saw this crisis coming and they had opportunity after opportunity to stop it, and they did nothing. They failed us. They sat back and allowed their conservative counterparts to pass abortion restrictive bills that stripped effective abortion from almost the entire South this year. And they won elections for the past 50 years on the rhetoric of protecting reproductive freedom, meanwhile doing nothing to codify abortion rights in federal law. Someone say shame! And women's rights are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! When women's rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
And so, as you can see there, DJ Exclusive, I mean, hundreds of people came out. That's just here in Minnesota. But on the other side of this, from the faith community, people are saying we need to protect the sanctity of life. What are your thoughts on this?
Georgia, it's a lot. It really is, just... First of all, that the leak even happened is a lot, but now that, they're confirming that it is true and everything is going on, I'm glad that there are so many protests popping up. I know here in Atlanta as well, too. Once it came out, the protesters, they showed up right there at the Capitol steps here in Atlanta as well to protest. So I'm glad it's happening. But, that other caveat is you have those that are in support of this showing up as well, too. And just listening to some of those comments that they make, it's almost like, do you hear what you're saying? And the disturbing part of that is some of those people, the people that look just like you and I, Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like it's not my place to be God. Amen. At the end of the day, like, no one on this earth is perfect. And if you are a spiritual person, that is what the Bible says, is like God is going to judge us based on our own decisions that we make. And so it doesn't quite make sense to me that we still, as a country, we don't have paid parental leave. And so if a family, even this happens sometimes for married couples where they're on baby number 5 or 6, and trying to make ends meet. Maybe the mom just started a new job. She's not going to get parental leave. She's going to actually lose her job. That happened to me twice. Not being eligible for maternity leave. And so it feels like there's a double-edged sword in our laws, because if we're removing the right for women to have an abortion, what protections are we putting in place for them to keep the baby and also keep their job and also maintain their health? And so it's just in the same breath of these lawmakers who are saying that they want to ban abortions, they should also be saying, and we're going to advance paid parental leave, and we're going to provide free, preschool for all, kids. We're going to reduce the cost of childcare. But none of those things are happening. So for me, You can't just say, let's protect the children, but then not stand up and actually pass legislation that protects the children when they're born.
Right.
And so that's the part where it frustrates me. I'd love to hear from you guys, by the way. Those of you who are listening, you can call in at 301-715-8592. That's going to be pinned in the chat again. That's 301-715-8592. I understand this is a really complex issue. We want to hear from you regardless of where you stand, or even if you've had your own personal experiences. DJ Exclusive, you said in Atlanta, they're also protesting this. I know in Portland, they're protesting. I've seen a few other cities that are protesting too. Has there been any lawmakers out there who have stood up to take a stand either for or against this?
You know, Georgia, they've been very, very quiet here in Georgia. I can honestly say that here. Haven't heard anything from our state politicians. So I am interested to see. I know that day to day that the protests are growing. So I am interested to hear from them. But as of now, nothing at all. Only one that we have heard something from is Stacey Abrams, of course.
Yeah. So, well, I do know a friend of the show, Senator Turner, has been speaking out, and I want you guys to take a listen. She's a good friend of the show. I want you guys to take a listen at what she has to say on this issue.
How are you feeling?
I am angry.
Angry and upset?
Angry and upset and determined. The United States Congress can keep Roe versus Wade the law of the land. They just need to do it.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be...
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades. They have been out there plotting, carefully cultivating these Supreme Court justices so they could have a majority on the bench who would accomplish something that the majority of Americans do not want. 69% of people across this country, red states and blue states, old people and young people, want Roe versus Wade to maintain as the law of the land. We need to do that. And we have a right. Extremists, we've heard enough from the extremists, and we're tired of it. Thank you.
Senator, does this open the door for other constitutional rights?
That's Senator Warren, not to be confused with a friend of the show, Nina. But we do have a call. Let's go ahead and hear from one of our listeners. Good morning. Are you with us?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
What are your thoughts on Roe versus Wade being overturned?
I feel horrible. To say the least. But I feel most horrible for the people that this will be affecting. Especially a lot of those young women and people who don't have the resources and money or just the ability to get an abortion when they desperately need it. I feel like there are people, especially people in power, who could be really doing something and actually being forcefully giving this moment the anger and the severity it deserves, but I don't feel like they're really out to do anything. I mean, I feel like people like Elizabeth Warren and possibly AOC, I think they're the only ones really giving this moment the severity it deserves. But I don't really see anybody else in leadership doing much of anything. I actually see people like Jim Clyburn doing the opposite. There's something for people like Henry Cuellar, anti-abortion Democrat in the House. And to say nothing of the actual like Republicans who are making this about the leaker and making this about like, oh, who leaked this and who did this, and like while ignoring the actual substance of like women losing their bodily autonomy, because they know that it's unpopular and they know that people are not in support of this. And they don't.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you say to people in the faith community who feel like from a moral standpoint, abortion is wrong?
Well, I mean, I feel like they're going to believe what they believe. And I feel like what they believe is baked in. But I think there is some convincing that we need to have them do, because this is not about being like pro-life or this or that. Like, because like I would love for them to understand that, and I hope we can convince them that this was never about being pro-life. Like because women will not. There are people that won't survive this, and people are going to die as a result of these like unwanted pregnancies. It's just I'm not sure how to convince them. I'm just one person, but I do think I do think we should do everything we can to like talk to them and make sure they feel it that these people they don't care about you, and they never have. And and
it's also hard to find the words, And so, what is your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
This is Tyler Hackner. I'm from Minnesota.
Tyler, thank you so much for calling this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler. Georgia, you said something. You asked him that question. What would you say in the face of those that come with the Bible argument? Honestly, myself, I would say, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, I would say to them myself, hey, everybody has their own beliefs, and they're free to believe what they believe. You believe in what that book says. Maybe I don't. I don't take it word for word. But so at the end of the day, you trying to push your rhetoric or your beliefs on me, it's not going to work the same. You can't convince me otherwise. I mean, I have free will and I have free thinking. So at the end of the day, don't try to push your beliefs on me, and I won't try to push my beliefs on you. But at the end of the day, I do believe that it is up to the woman to make their own decisions for what they want to do with their bodies. Regardless of what any book says, it is the woman's right and decision. Period.
Well, and I think that, to your point, oftentimes this is not an easy decision. It's not just black or white. It's not just right or wrong. I think that there's a lot of complexity and nuance that goes into a woman making this choice, which clearly is not, I'm guessing, an easy choice for anyone to make. Mm-hmm. But there's so many examples and situations that have been thrown out there. And regardless of what percentage of the population for women who get abortions it represents, when you think about a woman being raped and getting pregnant as a result, do we really want to become a society that forces that woman to have to raise that child for 9 months? That is a very sensitive situation, but it is a real situation that has occurred. And it might not be a large percentage of abortions. And we've talked already this morning about situations where women know that they are in danger of dying, whatever medical condition that they get when they become pregnant. Women who have a history of hemorrhaging, which is the leading cause of death while giving birth. You have those situations where women are like, well, is it my life or the baby's life? And again, but so to just totally outlaw abortion altogether, it feels like we're missing the mark, and that there's so many situations, and needless to say, even just if a woman can't afford it or doesn't want to be a single mom, or the list goes on and on and on of reasons why women choose to have an abortion. And at the end of the day, if you have a moral compass and you do believe in God, then that is something that they need to reconcile in their relationship with God. It's not like we have this perfect society where it's affordable to have a home or affordable to have healthcare or affordable to have childcare. And so as the middle class is increasingly becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, it's just, and I think that there's a lot of other things that get lost in this conversation. A lot of the nuance about even women in circles that I know often talk about, like, why can't men take birth control? It's always up to the woman, and how much after 10 years of being married, you're doped up on birth control. What does that do to your body? And at what point can that burden be put on your partner? And so I'm curious to hear from people. I think we still have time for another call. If you want to call in 301-715-8592. But it's a very complex issue. And there's a lot of nuance and complexities to it.
And Georgia, we do have another caller on the line. Bring them in just a moment. But it's funny to me how we're having this discussion not a year, maybe a little more removed from a lot of these same people saying, you can't tell me that I have to wear a mask to save countless lives, but now I'm going to tell these women what they can and can't do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of ironic that we're here now. But caller, thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Angie from Wisconsin.
Good morning, Angie.
What I want to talk about is I think we need to talk more about how they're going after the birth control. Also, that's not being talked about as much as the abortion. And I don't think a lot of the conservative people really know that they're going after the birth control, that it's just the abortion and that's what they're against. But once they realize that they can't even take birth control to prevent pregnancy, which is their whole point, well, why don't you take contraceptive to avoid being pregnant? And that's I just feel like we should just talk a lot more about this no birth control bit, because even Republican women take birth control.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Angie, thank you so much for calling this morning. You bring up a very great point. And even some say in communities, contraceptives are extremely expensive. They're also not 100% effective either. They are more and more effective. However, I will say that I have 3 children and was definitely on birth control when I got pregnant with at least one of them. And so, that there's that. But in some communities, when you start going further and further out in rural communities, it is not as easy to get contraceptives. And if you
and they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it illegal to even mail. They're trying to make it a drug, like a number 1 drug, like marijuana. Is basically what they're saying. I think it was in Michigan that they proposed it. So the thought is there. So if you can't even get it mailed to you, And I know for
That's
here,
terrible.
one of our stores is they don't even sell condoms. So I mean,
Wow.
that's a religious thing for that store. So it's like, you know, if you can't even have a condom, I mean, and I don't know if these men realize it, that our little, I mean, us women, every once in a while, we like to have a nice little one night stand, a little quickie. Those are out. Those are going to be completely out. I just want y'all to know this, because I know one thing: I ain't going to want to have sex at all if I'm not protected in no way, shape, or form. I'm just letting you know that. Just thought I'd point that out to the men that might not point two together.
Well, I would hate to know I'd hate to know the statistics of STDs in that city.
Oh, right.
That's a whole nother problem. Angie, thank you so much for calling.
So. All right, you have a great one. Bye-bye.
You as well.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. Well, we are on the clock. It is 7 your time, Bubba. But we are going to continue to follow this. I know that there's been already some developments this morning. There's more protests that are planned here in the metro area in Minnesota. So we're going to continue to follow this. But stick around for more on the Benjamin Dixon Show.
Shouts out, rewind, do that again. Shouts out again for Georgia holding it down for us this morning. But on the clock, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Like it or not, may or may not be coming up next. If anything, we'll rock out with a little music for about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll go from there.
Get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me, there's no one else I'd rather be with. Baby, I won't let you down. I got it, I know you need it. Love is it when you're around. Oh, please say that you believe it, 'cause I don't want to lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't want to lose you. Baby, don't go. Don't go. When I get you back,
Sarah AP, you know I will. This will be Bubba and Dwayne's hour.
When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me, there's no one else I'd rather be with. When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh.
Shout out to Dwayne, who over there doing double duty.
When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah.
Okay, so once you get back, Buster Be Good, good morning. wife says she will be ready in 5 minutes. She will be. No need to remind her every 15 minutes about it.
I can see it in your eyes, the way you move it so amazing. You say what I wanna hear, tell me it's all for me. Just show me you want it. You're ready. You say you're ready for it. You're ready. What are we waiting on?
Alicia, good morning to you.
You're ready. You want it for it. You've heard some things people talk like they know the real me. Let me clear the air. I've made my mistakes. I've learned how to behave. I know I'm a stranger, but I feel acquainted. Reading the signs, we both got our damages. I don't wanna play it safely. With you, it's different. You've been what I'm missing. Real talk, no fiction. I get lost and now I'm feeling. I want you closer. You know where you started. You know that I need it. I can see it in your eyes, the way you
All right.
move your body, baby. You say what I wanna hear. Tell me it's all for me. Just show me you want it. You're ready.
Yeah, let's go straight to take calls. You know what? Let's do it like that. William Moore, good morning. All right, I hear we got some callers holding, man. I think I'll take these couple of calls real quick before we get out of here in the stream. So first caller, you are on with Dwayne and DJ Exclusive. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, caller. Can you hear us? Hello? All right. Well, we'll try the next one.
Next caller, you are on with DJ Exclusive and Dwayne. What's your comment and or question?
Hi, this is Tamara. How are you? Oh, Mara Sharif.
Mara, how are you, Mara? How's it going? Good morning to you.
I'm great. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. We got you loud and clear. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. So I don't know if we're off the topic about Roe, but I wanted to make sure because I remember studying Roe like very specifically in college a million years ago, like 20 years ago. Roe is not about abortion, okay? It's not. The white men that voted into law are not pro-abortionists. They were against abortion. Roe is about body autonomy, right? So you need to be really clear. Every single law that states that you can do A and B and C with your body is based on Roe. So all of that, all those anti-vaxxers, all of these years that have been so like, this is my body, my choice, you are protected from not being mandated to take the vaccine by Roe. You have not just given that up. Roe protected you from not being mandated to take the vaccine. Because Roe said that the federal government cannot mandate for anything to be done to your body without your permission. You have now given that up. That is what this is about. It's not about.
And Mara, you are absolutely right, and I'm glad that you called in and said that because you know it does affect more than just abortions. So, and you're absolutely right. Just remembering when everything was going on and they started enacting all the mask mandates. They brought up this case. You are absolutely right.
This is about body autonomy. So, like, if let's say like I am super sick and I need to take my appendix out. Or some other part of my body out, and someone, the state, the city, a person in my life says, no, you don't have the right to your own body to take that out, and I passed away, I was protected by Roe to say, like, no, I have a right to my body and I want to do that. I no longer have that right. And this is not just about Roe. Fascism doesn't stop. So, like, they are right now looking at public schools. They are looking at public clinics. They're trying to take us back, not even to the 70s, but to like the founding, which means like after we were freed from enslavement, and all those public schools opened up to educate, formerly enslaved Africans, they want to go back to that. They want you to pay for your children to go to school. So if you are too poor, you will be allowed nothing in this country. Nothing. That's what they want to go back to. And Roe is just the start. So if you are too poor to make a decision about your body, guess what? You no longer have the right to make that decision. Your body does not belong to you. If you are not rich enough to fight it, your body does not belong to you. That is what Roe did. So I need, especially the politicians, I need you to get off this fucking abortion talk because it's not about abortion.
But
now you are not wealthy enough to fight. You're not wealthy enough to fight the oligarchs to control your own body. They will take your body.
But Mara, it's easier for them to just use that abortion dog whistle, to rally support. So
it is, and that's why they always win with messaging, because we don't have the right message. They will always win with messaging because I don't know what it is. If it's fear, I don't know what it is, but we are always on, when someone blows a dog whistle, you don't fucking catch the dog whistle. You look around that, because this is not about abortion. I don't want to talk about abortion. I want children born to parents who love them and can take care of them. That's what I want. Right. And if I do not want anyone that does not want a child to have one. Because there's enough people out here that are shitty parents. They're freaking up these kids. I don't want another child neglected. I don't want another child hurt. I don't want another child abused because they were born to a parent that did not want them. Imagine that. You were telling someone that I'm going to force you to have a child that you do not want. What the hell's going to happen to that child? That's what you're giving this child, the kind of life born to parents that did not want them.
Ooh, you said it, Mara.
Yep.
Forcing birth. And like me, myself, I was 22 years old and my best friend was pregnant, married to her husband, lovely family, just did not plan this pregnancy. And guess what? I had to pay for her to give birth because she couldn't freaking afford it. She couldn't afford to have this child. So what, want to have it on the floor? I had to pay, my parents had to pay, her parents had to pay, cousins of mine, friends of hers, family of hers, all had to rally together, put money together, and I was the last check. Because she couldn't afford it, and she had health care, and her husband had health care, and they couldn't afford the full bill. So this is like, this country is basically taking our rights away, and we're giving it away shrouded in this abortion bullshit. It's not about abortion. It is not about more black babies. Talking about Margaret Sanger killing black. It is not about that. They are killing black babies every goddamn day. They don't care about your babies.
Ooh, you're right, Mara.
They're killing them by not giving you, education. They're killing them by not giving you a home to live in. They're killing them by freaking keeping the damn water dirty. Or you think that because they took abortion away, they care about black babies? Are you kidding me? So I have to go. Okay, get my nails done.
No, we appreciate you calling, and I see a lot of people in the chat saying how they're touched by your story, but there's so many more of these stories out there. It's if
it was just about abortion, it may be a different conversation completely.
Right.
But if it was just about abortion, gotten passed in the first place. We got to think bigger.
Amen.
It's not about
Thank you again, Mara, for calling in as well too and sharing your story. That was deep, and we appreciate you. And Mara is absolutely right. It's about more than abortions, y'all. So let's do that research for real.
Thank you, Mara.
And read the actual documents. He's talking about if you didn't have a right when you landed on Plymouth Rock, that right is not guaranteed. That's what he said in that decision. So all of us are in jeopardy. All of us.
Amen.
Bye, y'all. I love you so much.
Love you too, Mara. Thank you so much again, Mara.
All right.
All right, Dwayne.
Yeah, we got 2 more. Let's see.
2 more? Let's run through them. Okay.
All right, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? I know you've been waiting in the waiting room for a while. You there? All right. Let's try.
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What's your name? And where
Now
you
we
calling
got
from?
you.
Excellent. This is Shade.
Shade, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm okay. I called today because I wanted to talk about a little off topic. It's not quite the abortion rights thing. It's something tangentially related to that. The hormone replacement thing. Not necessarily even for the purpose of gender reaffirming care. Cutting off the possibility of something that could be considered gender reaffirming care is also harmful to people who may have some sort of a hormonal difference that causes them to either develop too early or not quite enough or whatever. Because anybody who's been in chat with me long enough knows I'm hormonally squiffy. So, yeah, it's a technical term, very detailed jargon. But if a person develops very early, say around the age of 8, children around that age aren't really temperamentally suited, or their brains aren't really mature enough yet to deal with sexual development. And it's kind of awful not to put them on puberty blockers. Like, they don't even know what gender they are yet. Like, and you're going to make them go through, like, an early puberty. And then there's all the unwanted attention a person gets developing that early because people think that they're older than they are, in addition to possibly shortening that person's physical stature because they are not able to get the calcium that they need to continue growing. So blocking puberty blockers for kids is not just affecting trans people. It's cruel, not just to trans kids, but also to kids who just may have something different.
Absolutely, Shane. And thank you again, Shane, for calling in this morning with your comment as well, too. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, it's people in this country, politicians in this country, it seems like everybody in this country wants to push their beliefs on each other. And at the end of the day, we have all this thing, like I said, free will, free speech, and free thinking. I don't get it to why everyone thinks that my child should be the same as your child or act the same way as your child or do everything like your child should do. No, I'm going to raise my child the way that I want to. And if my child comes to me and says, I don't feel comfortable in my body and I feel like that I should be something else, then I'm going to pay attention and I'm going to listen. Because growing up so many times, and I'm not saying with my family, but growing up so many times, we had kids that would tell their parents, they'd be like, oh, you okay? Ain't nothing wrong with you. You'll be all right. Go play football. Go play baseball. Go play some kind of sports. You'll be all right.
I heard that.
But no. We have to listen to these kids because honestly, that's where you're gonna get the most honesty from in anything. It comes from the innocence of a child.
Oh, they have no filter,
man. So to me,
but
like,
yeah, conservatives have essentially whipped themselves up into such a frenzy that they've lost their common sense in addition to their fracking minds.
All of these issues boil down to me. People needed to just mind their own damn business, yo. Like, everybody always got something to say about stuff that don't affect them at all.
Yeah.
And then we end up here. Like, mind your damn business, live your life. What the next person do don't have no effect on you most of the time. So just mind your business, let them live.
And let them live.
they may have the right to mind their own business, but I think they fundamentally lack the capability.
That's what it is. They lack the capability and understanding. But Shay, thank you so much for calling in this morning. We freaking love you, man, and thank you again for calling in. Okay.
Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later, Shay.
All right, we got one more in the waiting room. Caller, thank you so much for waiting. What's your name and where you calling from? Hi, caller. Oh, we lost him. All right, Bubba, look like it's just me and you.
I know, Dwayne. What we got in the tank today, sir?
I'm sure we got a couple things, but hold on. Let me try to maneuver here.
Okay.
Got one hand. Let's see. We talked about Dave Chappelle yesterday. We got.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We talked about that yesterday.
And they talk about the guy that rushed him on stage was a wannabe rapper.
Yeah. We got a clip. We got a clip to go with it. Hold on. Let's see what this clip all about. It's short.
Let's take a look.
It's the clip of the aftermath. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
History.
Oh, that's him getting.
And he basically dodged it. He only caught the man.
Looked like my man tried to come up there and tackle him like he wanted to be a football player, but
you got stumped down off for all of that. Did you at least pinch the bitch? Is that what they say?
Well, I mean, at least he get his 15 minutes of fame.
Right, and then Mara just said in the chat, a black MAGA rapper at that. Man. The irony. He got his ass whooped for last year and this year.
For nothing.
So,
what else? I mean, we got a couple other things. You want to talk about Draymond Green, or you want to talk about right-leaning, the Twitter algorithm?
Let's talk about Draymond Green. What did Draymond do now?
So Draymond Green, if for those that don't know, NBA player, he's a fiery kind of guy. He's been in some trouble in the past for some questionable fouls, things like that. His intensity on the court, but they're in the playoffs now, and he had a hard foul. I can't remember the guy's name he fouled, but here's a clip to explain it a little bit.
It's because he plays with joy and fun and a carefree attitude and a fearlessness. You can't take away what makes a player great. So there's no shut up and play.
God, he is so polarizing. For all the fans that you think listen to the podcast and watch them, I can give you 50 million fans who would tell you the same thing. Enough already. So he is a polarizing athlete. Sure, there are certain younger fans especially that like to hear him play. I'll give you a large segment of older fans who have followed the NBA for 60 years, this is not a political scenario or a race situation, who have followed Wilt and grew up as a Knick fan, who loved Clyde and loved Reed and loved the Pearl.
So basically the gist of it is now that this foul happened, there's a lot of people saying that he should calm down and just go out and play and kind of tone it down.
Shut up and play ball. But that has always been Draymond Green's, like, that has always been him. That's always been his personality. Yep. You know, I don't watch a lot of sports ball. I mean, I watch a little bit of basketball, but when I do, it's just like Draymond Green is always one of the ones that I know. And it's just like when I saw him playing the other night, I was like, oh shit, Draymond Green is playing now for Golden State. I didn't even know that, first of all. But yeah, it's always been the way he's played. He always has had this, like, I don't know. He makes the game fun for him. He goes out and does what he needs to do, but he makes it fun.
Yeah, and I mean, so he's the heart and soul of that team. They feed off of his energy, and this guy, I think it's Christopher Russo, trying to say that, you know, back in the day the players wouldn't have did this kind of stuff. That's not true at all. Because back in the day, that foul that would have just been a record. That might not have even been a foul. So I don't mind Draymond Green. He plays with passion. He you know, that's him. That's been him, like you say, since he was in college. And you know what you're gonna get. So keep playing. You know, he ain't trying to hurt the dude. Everybody
Dwayne,
else just shut up, mind their business.
I'm going to tell you exactly who he reminds me of. You probably going to be like, really, Bubba? I'm like, yes, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was Draymond Green back in the day.
You know, I think I think I give you that because if Draymond would go and dye his hair, you know what I mean? Maybe wear a dress. He'd beat Dennis Rodman for sure. But he plays with that same energy. But here's the thing though, and that's a good comparison that you said that, because a lot of people from the outside would look at Dennis Rodman and be like, oh, he's weird, he's crazy, he's a bad teammate, blah blah blah. But if you talk to anybody that ever played with Dennis Rodman, the same way if you talk to anybody that's played with Draymond Green, he one of the best teammates you could ever have. Like he gonna give you 110%. He got your back. You know, he gonna do the dirty work. So that's a good comparison. I give you that.
Yeah. See, like I said, I know a little bit, just a little bit. Leave all the sports ball to Dwayne.
There we go. But so Chris Russo had that to say, and then JJ Redick, who was on the show with him, said this in response.
I'm not saying it's a race situation. I'm saying that the fans you're talking about, they talk about athletes that way, like you just talked about an athlete.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a large segment.
The people on Fox News talk about athletes that way.
Well,
That's my issue.
Fox News
That's my issue. I don't actually care about the fans that watched Bob Cousy play or watched Wilt play. I don't care. Right. I appreciate that they've been NBA fans that long, but I don't appreciate the undertone.
Hold on.
I like JJ Redick.
This man's
my man in this place.
He brought up Wilt Chamberlain, bro. What in the hell? How long ago was that? I don't even remember Wilt Chamberlain playing Dwayne. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say.
Well, I sure wasn't. I wasn't alive when he was playing. Well,
right.
You know, I think I might have been. No, because he was done in the early '80s. I want to say.
Oh yes, I wasn't alive when he was missed playing. That. Seen Jordan, my era.
A bunch of highlights. But
right.
I mean, this kind of just goes to this. This you could almost compare to. Nah, I wouldn't compare it to the LeBron shut up and dribble, because you know it's not like Draymond was out there speaking on causes outside of basketball. But it was just to me, it's just a kind of old white guy who's been Chris Russo's been commentating about sports forever. He's been on the radio, but. You know, the game is changing, players are changing. You know, you gotta change with the times. You can't expect it all to be the same buttoned up Larry Bird, Bob Cousy league it was back in the 70s,
yes.
80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things are changing, and either change with it or get out the way, go sit down somewhere.
Right. Amen. You said that.
All right,
Dwayne. What else we got next up there in the tank? We trying to filibuster until Rebecca get here, but you know.
Get here. What else do we have? I guess we can go to. You can talk about Matt Gaetz, because he, you know, this ties in with the Roe versus Wade that we were talking about earlier.
It's on this man's face.
It's he. From what I see of it, looks like he had something to say about the women who were protesting the Roe versus Wade developments. So let me find that clip. Sorry. And here we go.
It's like two perverts sitting at the table having a conversation together.
And that wasn't the clip that I was expecting it to be. So, you know, that was back. I think we covered that around last year when all of those sex trafficking allegations were happening. I'm gonna see if I can find the clip that I thought that was in a minute.
Man, both of them just have punchable faces.
Yeah,
this is like
that was that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, it's just like the white forehead was just the forehead to hair ratio was really amazing.
Like,
if you saw it,
like, oh, you're a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit too.
Right? Hey, piece of shit. Hey.
I think
two clowns on the screen at the same time. That's just like terrible. Jimmy Neutron and Doug Funny. That's what it looks like. And then I like both of them, but god dang, that's exactly what it looks like.
Doug Funny was my man. I think we're running out of stuff to talk about, Bubba, and we don't have no more callers. So Rebecca might miss out on this one.
Is she on pop up real soon? Now, if you want to, Dwayne, there is something that I dropped in there that Ben asked me to drop in Slack. I don't know if you see it. Talking about Drake clapping back at a troll.
Oh, I'll grab it. Give me a second.
Yeah. Very, very funny. It's like people have, I guess people think that with celebrities that they don't have a life too. I guess they feel that because they're celebrities that, you know, they have a publicist that looks over all their stuff and just does whatever the hell they want to. No, Drake had time today. Drake had a lot of time, as somebody posted under a comment under his page talking about his son. That's what it was. And Drake said, not today, bruh. And he posted a picture of him going to follow the guy's
Yeah, it's the
guy's girlfriend's page.
I'm bringing that in now, but it's always funny to me when people do that. They go and either troll celebrities or they just be saying some off the wall stuff, like they aren't real people that, you know, sometimes have enough, and then when the celebrities clap back, that's always funny to me. But here's
absolutely.
Here's the clip you was talking about. Let's see. It's short, so.
Oh, and actually, it's probably not even a clip, Dwayne. Yeah. I think it's just music. Yeah. Here we go. And I can read what it says here. It all started when Drake commented on an Instagram post criticizing #NBA dads. The troll responds, "Your son probably played with ghostwriters." In true certified lover boy fashion, Drake prompted to follow the troll's wife on Instagram. He responded, "I just followed your girl because she's probably miserable and needs some excitement in her life."
Yo, and if there's anybody that you don't want following your queen on social media, it's Drake.
It's Drake, bro.
It's Drake, man. You might just have to hang it up. Like I'd be like, all right, you got it, bro. I'm gonna go sit down in the corner somewhere. There's a couple
the light-skinned employer to wear.
Right. There's a couple like him. There's a list. I guess probably him, Trey Songz, and Usher. What's my man? What's the actor with the green eyes? What's my man name that be in all?
And Dwayne, y'all. Dwayne light skin ass too.
I ain't even light skin like that. What's the actor name with the green eyes? Yo, he was in Bel Air. What's my man? You know who I'm talking about?
Yes, Dwayne. I know exactly who you talking about.
He always somebody woman in a show or a movie.
Every movie. What is this man's name? Y'all know who we talking about, man. Light-skinned dude with pretty green eyes. Y'all know who we talking about. I can't remember his name.
I can't think of his name, but he's definitely on that list of dudes you don't want following your girl on social media.
Absolutely. Oh, man.
But so since we on Drake, right? So I know you saw the story the other day.
Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy, that's his name. Yeah.
Michael Ealy, thank you. I knew somebody knew it. Thank y'all.
Yeah, if Michael Ealy is following your queen, you might as well go ahead and start packing.
Hang it up, bro.
But so on the Drake the other day, I know you saw the rapping white girl was rapping Lil Baby's lyrics at the wedding, and then Drake went and signed her. How you feel? Yeah, he signed her to some kind of, I don't know what she gonna be doing because she ain't a rapper. But
what the hell?
Yeah. So he supposedly signed her for something, but then it came out that she had a history of using the N-word about raccoons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Dwayne, I think do you have that clip still in the tank? I know we had posted that clip with but we can't really play it because that'll knock this channel ban this one. Yeah, so quick.
We can't get that was Ben ain't even here. That'd be bad.
Okay. That should be the main time we do it. Get Ben banned while he's not here. It's like, you should have had your ass here.
Right. Like, Ben, how you get fired on your day off?
On your day off. This is what happens when y'all leave me and Dwayne alone.
Right.
That's all right, though. The Dwayne and DJ exclusive show is coming soon. We to make it happen today. It was like we had this just a overview and a brief run through. See how it go.
They ain't gonna leave us alone no more. I tell you that.
They not. But hell, Ben better get some better internet, and Rebecca better start coming to work on time.
Showing up on time.
On time.
I think we out of stuff to talk about today, man.
Yeah, man, I agree. And Rebecca ain't here yet. It's 9:35.
Yeah,
and she ain't come through. Yes, we did mutiny the show today, and I actually liked it. It'll be better.
What we gonna have to do is we gonna have to keep like 5 or 6 stories in the tuck for days like this when we just gotta take over.
Just for us.
Yeah.
I agree, bro.
We'll be better prepared next time, viewers and listeners. We promise. We'll be better prepared.
Man, and let me apologize to everybody yesterday because Dwayne. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can grab this real quick that somebody sent me. Hold on, Dwayne. I know I'm pulling the Audible real fast.
Oh, I don't care. I ain't got nowhere to be.
But this was funny as crap when they sent it to me. I'm like, bro, I gotta keep this. Now, how can I do this? All right, hold on. Let me do it from my phone. But yeah, man, let me apologize to y'all yesterday because apparently I guess I was enjoying my coffee a little bit too much. A little too goddamn much.
I remember that. I remember that. It was
okay.
It was like one of them cartoons.
And I didn't realize it until somebody sent it to me and was like, who's this? I was like, oh shit.
Can I lay you down? You want to lay down? You want to lay down? Huh?
Oh, let's see here. I don't want that. Oh. Give y'all a little music while we get this downloaded at least. Boom. Okay, Dwayne. I just dropped it in the in the Slack.
That was the ASMR. Is that what it's called?
Bruh, yes. Oh man, I was like, I can't believe that I did that.
Most of the time when it happens, I have you muted so that like we only hear it behind the scenes. But that was the time I left you unmuted, and that coffee was too good.
And then it didn't help none that I forgot to mute myself. Like normally I'll mute myself if I'm not on screen yet or anything. But my God, today that slurp was like, that was ignorant as hell.
Here we go. I got it.
This is a good move. We should, by all means, the conversation never ends. What we need to do. We know what we need to do as it pertains to this environment. We've known for some time. This is the right step in the right direction. It does bug me, though. Absolutely rubs me the wrong way to think that this is somehow tied to war itself. That the impetus behind this is support.
It makes it even funnier because Ben was in the middle of a whole point, and it was just like. That's what makes it even better.
So I apologize, y'all. It was just like you say y'all see I ain't even got coffee today. I ain't even get coffee. I'm like, you know what?
We need give you a chance to get coffee today. I was like, Bubba, I need you to come in and help save the day. Georgia on, but I don't want to leave her up on by herself. So you just have to skip the coffee today.
Oh man.
I think we have a. I guess we was having too much fun. Rebecca said the show was going off the rails, so she had to hold on here.
Pop her ass up on him. Excuse me. Oh my God!
Don't come in here clearing your throat like that.
Right,
I needed to clear my throat for Bubba. He just called.
Don't come in here clearing your throat.
Oh my God.
We got time, Rebecca. We got time today.
Of course, you guys have to. I feel like it was a wreck without me.
No.
It was actually not.
We can take a poll. It wasn't.
We actually because we got viewers, child.
But I wasn't talking about you though, Bubba. I really was talking about Dwayne being on the show. That's what I was talking about. So you don't gotta,
Dwayne. They don't want to see us together, Dwayne.
Hey,
Bubba, you have to have my back. Nobody wanna
Bubba,
see
let me tell you something. So you know, like in the Zoom, right? And I don't know how many people know this, but if you ever get like kicked out of a Zoom, you can never come back in that same Zoom.
You can't.
So, Rebecca, you better tread lightly because
This is not Friday. I don't even know why you're here. Lightly. It's not even Friday. Okay.
Look,
but
because y'all got issues. When I say y'all, Ben, and then Rebecca, y'all got issues, so we had to come through and hold it down.
I didn't have an issue. I actually let y'all know beforehand that I wasn't going to be here. At the time. So beforehand, I let you guys know beforehand. That was over 24 hours. It wasn't this morning. It was over 24 hours ago. So, but I will say, good morning to everybody. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
It's not care who doesn't like it.
It is damn Thursday at 9:41. It's May 5th. It is Cinco de Mayo. It's my ex-boyfriend Chris Brown's birthday, and then it's my godson's birthday. So happy birthday to my godson Elias, who I named. Who else?
Oh, nice. I like that. It's Revenge of the 5th, of course, and it's Doctor Strange Day.
Okay. All right. But it is all those things.
Wait, Bubba, does that come out tonight?
Oh, yeah. I'm going at 3 o'clock. I'll be there.
At the movies?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess I might take a stop through the movies. I don't know anything about it, but I feel like I go find out about it when I'm there. I just go call somebody and be like, let's go to the movies. And,
Okay.
But anyways,
don't know what the movie about.
I'm trying to take you to know movies.
A lot of people want to take me to the movies. So, anywho, I just wanted to, I don't even remember what I dropped yesterday, but I felt like I really wanted to talk about those stories. That's why I really wanted to come on this morning. But I don't even remember what those things were. I believe there was one about, this is what I wanted to drop. I don't know if you guys discussed it already, and I know that this would be actually something that you would want to talk about, Dwayne. I don't know if you guys got there yet. JJ Smith?
JJ Redick.
We did.
JJ Redick.
Yeah, we did.
JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Look, me Smith. Yeah. JJ Redick, who was on one of them shows with Stephen A. Smith. I forgot what that show was called. They were discussing it's First Take. Okay. They were discussing Draymond Green, and I guess something that he does on the court. And one of the people on the panel were saying he does too much or whatever the case may be.
I don't know why I froze.
JJ actually read them for Phil. But I would love to play the interview. And can we play the interview? Because I did put it out there. Do we have it?
I mean, we kind of played it already, but we can play it again.
Oh, you guys already discussed it? And Bubba, you are frozen.
For the people.
You are frozen.
I got you. I got you. The whole thing froze up.
Call me Anna. So.
Yes.
Call me Anna.
Elsa. Not Anna. Elsa. Do you want to build a snowman?
My mama gonna cuss me out because I got that wrong. Because she loves some Anna and Elsa child.
Elsa is Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she the ice.
Let it go, let it go. Can't take it back or whatever they said. But the kids know that song. That one in we don't say Bruno.
But Bruno, we don't talk about Bruno, child.
That one is just like, I'm like, it's not the best song of the movie. There's other songs that I feel like were top tier, but the Bruno one was okay. But I felt like there were other songs that were top tier in that.
Have you heard the little mix of Bruno where they mix it? They playing with the little kids and they talk, we don't talk about Bruno, and it's like the regular mix, and then the beat fade out, and then the Usher part come in, and the little kids start dancing. Like, what's this? Yes.
What's the Usher part?
Usher, they start playing Usher's beat behind We Don't Talk About Bruno because it just mixed it so perfectly. Yes.
So my question to you really quickly, was, I know you guys probably seen this, but where was Usher at 7 p.m.? At 7 o'clock? Where was Usher at 7 o'clock?
He was in his drop top cruising the streets.
Thank you, Dwayne. Bubba, why didn't you answer? Bubba, why did you not answer?
Y'all should have saw my face. I'm looking like, I don't know what the hell Usher was. I'm like, is this a dad joke? What's going on?
You were confused. I was expecting you to tell me, Rebecca, he was in his drop top cruising the streets.
You can't forget the doom.
Right.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top cruising the street. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's still doing his residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
So we're going out there in July to catch that show real quick. That should be a good show.
Nice. I heard that it's real good. My cousin went, and it was a surprise for her
I'm
birthday.
disappearing on y'all.
I heard it was good too. It better be good, as expensive as them damn tickets was.
Oh, well, that's good. It sounds like it's going to be good. There's so many people with residencies now in LA. Have you gotten the video yet, Dwayne?
What video are you talking about?
This whole time, I'm telling you to get the video because I wanted to discuss it, but you guys said you guys already watched the video and discussed it.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Oh. You just want to talk today.
No, I had it. I just had to let you know that we already played it, so I was trying to see if you wanted to play it again, but obviously
yes, I do.
So
I actually do.
It's because he plays with joy and fun and a carefree attitude and a fearlessness. You can't take away what makes a player great. So there's no shut up and play.
God, he is so polarizing. For all the fans that you think listen to the podcast and watch them, I can give you 50 million fans who would tell you the same thing. Enough already. So he is a polarizing athlete. Sure, there are certain younger fans especially that like to hear him play. I'll give you a large segment of older fans who have followed the NBA for 60 years, this is not a political scenario or a race situation, who have followed Wilt and grew up as a Knicks fan, who loved Clyde and loved Reed and loved the Pearl.
Why did he mention weed, right?
Reed.
Talking about Willis Reed.
I listened to that about 3 times. And I said, this racist piece of crap, why did he say weed? I was so upset. I said, there is no way that what makes this story, how does this weed fit into this? And then so that whole time I was strong and wrong, I was upset.
Sweet.
I was upset.
Is that why you dropped the clip? Because you thought he was...
No, I dropped the clip because I thought JJ Redick did a good job in defending, the fact that it's not that serious. Let Draymond, act accordingly. And for him to list off other people, that don't matter to this generation, however, they still get respected. But, you can't just come off the top of your mouth and just say he should stop doing X, Y, Z. It does coincide with the shut up and play that we heard from Laura Ingraham over there at Fox. It does coincide with that. I think that falls in line right with the conversation. And so for him to he's speaking from a player's point of view. He understands what it's like to be on the court. Also, he's sitting here. He has to be the expert in the room to have that conversation on the floor. And then for him to say, the panelist, who I don't know his name, but to say, it's not about a race issue, and for JJ to come back and say, it's not about a race issue, but at the same time, it's like in his tone of voice, it would say, it can be though. It can be because shut up and play came from Laura Ingraham, and it was, I think, racially initiated, and for him for a black man not to discuss things that are happening in the world to black men. So just in the moment where Draymond can express himself in whatever way that he can that ain't hurting nobody, let him do so.
Yeah, no. So like you said, for him to say it's not a race issue makes it a race issue a little bit. But like you, if it was a white player,
Dwayne, take me down real quick, okay?
Tom Brady all the time gets praised for his passion and his fire, you know what I mean? But if let somebody else, let a black player do kind of the same thing, then they're a bad teammate, they're bigger than the
aggressive.
Game, they're bigger than the team, they're aggressive, things like that. So yeah, but like you say, for him to say it's not a race issue kind of makes it a race issue. And here's the JJ Redick response that you were talking about.
I'm not saying it's a race situation. I'm saying that the fans you're talking about, they talk about athletes that way, like you just talked about an athlete.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a large segment.
The people on Fox News talk about athletes that way.
Well,
That's my issue.
Fox News
That's my issue. I don't actually care about the fans that watched Bob Cousy play or watched Wilt play. I don't care. I appreciate that they've been NBA fans that long, but I don't appreciate the undertone.
Hold on.
Well, you see, here's what I like about this, because, if I had a friend like JJ, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, JJ, you know what? Like, thanks for looking out. Thanks for speaking up when I can't speak up in the room. But I don't understand what point. I still really don't get why that panelist was trying to throw back the same passion to JJ and not understand JJ's frustration. I think he didn't want to be wrong in that moment, and his point was being just taken apart. And I'm talking about the panelists. His point was being taken apart because it didn't make sense. Then he said nobody wants to see Draymond in that way. However, JJ brought out the point that Draymond has a podcast where mad people are listening to him. So if nobody wants to hear him or see him be other than, just a player, and not have any feelings, that's a lie. And, we've debunked that myth. So let's move on to the fact that what you're saying really has no weight here. Let that man be a player. Let that man express himself. Let him like he's not hurting anybody. It's problematic when you're saying that this black man doing anything outside of playing, dribbling the ball is too much. It's too much. But like you said, Dwayne, when we hear them speak about passionate white athletes, they're said to be really passionate. We've never seen them come out there with that aggression and put it all on the field and put it all out there. But this is like basketball. We all the time on the court, we're going to hear and we're going to see. We always do, like from the beginning. Like it's always been that these men, they play aggressively, they say what they want, they dance, they express themselves in different ways on the court, and we cannot tell them not to be. That this is their game, this is their arena. You guys sit on a sports news desk, and so it's about time that we've had people like JJ, which I hope they will bring him on. They will continue to bring him on to analyze and be an analyst in this space, because it's people like him who still have. He fine too. It's people like him who still have a nice, age range of not being too far removed from the game, but actually being in a space where they actually can sit here and have a conversation. Yeah, so I like it.
So the guy, the first guy, his name is Chris Russo, Mad Dog. He's been like a staple in New York sports radio for 20 years maybe. But he's always been one to just say kind of off the wall, like stuff like that. So, but to your point,
he met his match on this day.
But to your point, Draymond, like a lot of people want to hear what he has to say, he was hurt he missed a good portion of this season, was out for like a couple months, 3 months maybe, and he was on while he was out. He was on NBA on TNT with Shaq and Kenny and them during games. So people definitely want to hear what he has to say, and he's a very intelligent guy, Draymond Green. He doesn't get the credit for that a lot of times, because a lot of times all people see is that fire that on the court. But all his team, like I said to Bubba earlier, all his teammates, everybody that's ever played with him, loves him. Like, so Draymond, he's
been fun to watch. I hear a lot of people talk about him, and when I watch the game from occasion to occasion, like he's been really, really fun to watch. I think having that passion on the court, being able to play around younger players and still keep it up in that way. He's always a part of the conversation. So I think I love that we have people right now like JJ, and how they're taking some of the players, like you said, when they're hurt or when they're down, to be analysts and to have conversations, and we can actually see their true, more than them being on the court. It's not just shut up and dribble, because a lot of them, like you said, they are intelligent. They're more knowledgeable because they have been on the court. So they're not just mouthpieces. They can actually speak from experience. So I want to see more of that in these spaces.
Yeah. But keep watching First Take. You'll get to see more of JJ Redick. He's on there quite a bit. I know you.
Okay,
say you
fine.
Like his
So
face, so
I used to watch First Take back when. But let me go ahead and move further from that, because yes, JJ Redick is fine as hell. Somebody like, what I'm saying, if you white and you fine like that and you stick up for your black friends like that, call me. But anywho, and you got to be over 6 feet. You got to be over 6 feet though. I don't know what's playing on my phone.
What?
Something that Tiger put into the chat. Now I'm like, what is that? But no, there's a tweet. Because before we get out of here, there is a tweet that I wanted to. There's a tweet that I wanted to discuss from one of these. What was it? Matt Gaetz, and he was discussing what is the Roe versus Wade possible eradication, and he was talking about women that ain't got no man, right? He tweeted out on Twitter, he was discussing Hold on, I'm looking for the specific tweet.
No,
do you guys have
thank
the specific?
You. I don't have it because I thought the clip that we had was what we was trying to play, but it was the old sex trafficking clip of him and Tucker. So thank you for coming in and saving that. So if you find the tweet, please. Because me and Bubba was looking crazy earlier. I was like, there's the clip. I was like, nah, this ain't what I thought it was.
You guys, y'all was messing up. So listen, he tweeted out basically, I don't have the specific tweet, but he was basically coming for women who were speaking against, not speaking against abortion, who were pro-choice, and they were speaking against the possible eradication of the Roe versus, because Ben don't like when I say VS, Roe versus Wade. And I think that, I really need to get the tweet because you guys will see how ridiculous this man sounded when he tweeted. He basically was saying, y'all, the people that are upset about this, go home to no man eating frozen dinners. The people that are upset about this, have no lives. The women, they aren't pretty enough. We see why they're mad about the situation. And this is what I'm saying. These are the people who are put in place to have dominion over women's bodies, over women's vaginas, over women's choices. These people like Matt Gaetz, Jimmy Neutron head behind. These are the people, white men with no idea. They're the ones that are put in place that disrespect women, and the reasons why that we're standing with being pro-choice. It's more than just not wanting to be a mother or not being able to be a mother in that time. There are health situations that are a part of this conversation too. For mothers who are high risk, for people who have bad periods, like the list can go on. And it keeps people safe from going in and from being forced to go into a black market to go or self situations that they choose to have abortions. This keeps people safe. Also, who's going to take care of the kids? Matt, you going to take care of the kids?
Nope.
Are you going to
You don't want them taking care of your kids?
Not at all. Yeah, because we heard about Matt. Yep. We heard about Matt and touching folks. I don't know why he's still in place, and also I don't know why he gets to say anything about women's bodies and vaginas. I don't understand. I don't get it. He's pushing laws that don't even support. If women were to go and have these children, there's no health care for real. Women are still trying to get paid leaves in some of their corporate jobs or in some of their jobs, period, when they have babies. Paid leave. Not all jobs offer that. Not all jobs offer that, but they want you to have this child. If something does happen to the child, what about, medical costs? If something happens to the mother, what about medical costs? They're going to put them up in a foster care program where we know how foster care is. It's a terrible place to be. A lot of times these kids get forgotten, hurt. We saw what happened with Ma'Khia Bryant, who was dealing with some things inside of a foster home and ended up, taking her, getting ready to fight somebody and got shot down by police officers. What are we doing here? There's so many things that this thing could lead to. It's a domino effect. But people like Matt Gaetz, who has been accused of sexual trafficking and has been accused of touching folks inappropriately, has been accused of so many things on the line, still gets to get seated and have a conversation and tell women that they're not beautiful enough and they're lonely and nobody wants them. That's why they are pro-choice. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. This is our leadership. These are the people who are put in place, and this is very telling. This is very telling. That's why we say it's more than just about pro-choice. It's more than just about religion. People want to tote around religion. It'd be the most Christian folks who are in this space who want to make the call, and white men who want to make the calls over women's bodies, who have had to resort to bringing their side chicks, their mistresses, they sneaky links to the abortion clinic, or having to Venmo or Cash App or Zelle them the money to go get the procedures done. It be them. It be them. So here's what he tweeted. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly return from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches? White men is killing black women on Bumble anyway, so nobody trying to do that. Overeducated, so you want the women to be dumb? overeducated. Help me understand. And underloved millennials. Millennials ain't under love. We out here in these streets. We just choosing not to choose because the housing is ridiculously expensive. Having a baby is ridiculously expensive right now. We can't afford to do those kind of things. Ain't nobody being under love. Sex is real out here. Sex is selling. Sex is everywhere. Every corner you turn, it's real beautiful out here. It ain't under love, and we're choosing to live alone because don't nobody want nobody in their space right now. It's a lot going on in this world. Mentally, we're trying to keep ourselves together, okay? Until somebody comes along and we can make it happen. Bumble is not the key. So that whole tweet is just a fool. Clearly, he's not happy with his life. He's throwing this out there, and he got this man sex trafficking. Let's talk about being underloved. Like, it's a fool. We don't need the pot calling the kettle black, white. We don't need none of that. We really don't. Is Bubba back yet? Because I am. I'm trying to say something. He left. Okay, you can see him. You in people's business. You're in people's business. Okay. But I had dropped a few videos, and I want to talk about some Black joy. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I want to keep it really light for the end of the show. I know we've been going pretty heavy these last few days, especially with protests that have been happening most recently over the Roe versus Wade and a lot of the police presence that's pulling up, but we'll talk about that. Not right now. I just feel like I want to see a lot of this Black joy that we've been dropping all week. Do you have that together? Do you have anything you want to drop for us?
Here's one. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is the clip.
That's what I Why?
What the hell?
Y'all gotta drop context. Do you guys know what this is, though? That's the hold music on the phone. When you call in like a corporation and they put you on hold.
I was wondering where I had heard that before.
That is the hold music on the phone. It definitely, it's a bop. It's a bop. Like, I need somebody to drop some lyrics to that. It's definitely a bop. It is. It gives me like the 90s corporation office look. Like there's a pink strip of something somewhere with a lot of green, grassy looking wallpaper, terrible furniture, and then this is playing like in some kind of speaker somewhere at the top. But it is the hold music when you call corporations. It's pretty whack. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's pretty whack that everybody trying to remix it without no lyrics. I need somebody to drop something clean. Speaking of lyrics, did you guys talk about Drake on Instagram?
Yeah.
You talked about it already? Okay, I don't want to talk about it because it was a slow news day.
Yeah, no,
I feel like it wasn't even that deep.
And then, and then we kind of, and then I brought up the other thing with the white girl rapping baby lyrics. That Drake song.
Yeah. Look, what did you think about that?
I thought that it was just another one of those, like, just trying to hop on the viral moment type things.
She knew it word for word, but that's nothing new.
Well, yeah.
White folks love Black music. Remember when Lil Wayne was really, really hot? White folks used to be the ones that sell out those concerts for real. They knew every Lil Wayne song, so it's not shocking for a white girl from Tennessee, I think she's from Tennessee, for real, to know these types of lyrics and things like that. So I don't.
Nah, it wasn't shocking. I'm trying to remember what they was calling her. Why 4PF Becky or 4PF something. They gave her a name. That was the funny part to me. But to me, the that should have just been another thing that came and went. Like, yeah, of course she knows the words.
I can recite Backstreet Boys lyrics like nobody's business. I could Avril Lavigne, Shania Twain. I can go down the list of some white women, white men that I can definitely recite. I mean, we do it all the time. So I don't know what's so special about it, but in today's day and age, you can be white and do this much.
Yeah, my bigger thing was the fact that Drake went out and signed her to something. Like, okay, yeah, she's appropriating the culture. Like she should have came and went. There was no need for her for us to give her a bigger platform. Like,
nothing. But that's how we got the little girl from Dr. Phil, Mimi Outside. That's how we made her a billionaire. That's how we made her, that's how we did that. The girl who made the song, I Understood the Assignment. I bet you I thought she was black. She's white. And she appropriates the culture. She wears the wigs, wears the nails. I don't mind it, but I need people to know, like, we got actual black people who sound like themselves, who do this stuff every day, and we're not giving them the credit. There are black rappers who have yet to be recognized by people like Drake, but a white girl gets on and lip syncs a black song, and she's recognized.
Yep. It's just the TikTok thing all over again. I mean, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But you can't tell me she wasn't spitting though. She was like following them lyrics, which is always what they do anyway.
Yeah, I mean that I don't
appropriation of black culture.
When you play if you gonna play any hood song by, like, let's say Future from the early 2000s, Migos from the early 2000s, and I'm in the club, if you play Meek Mill from the original Dream Chasers joint, like, we gonna be in there spitting it word for word. What's so special about us?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing for real. I mean, like, we just know the music. Anywho, y'all. You got more to play? Because look, my eyes. I am tired.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could have still been asleep, but you had to pop your ass on here. We was about to log off.
We was about to leave.
I didn't know. Y'all gotta. Didn't I tell you guys? Send me a message. Let me know what's going on. But
might that mean she wasn't watching us this morning?
She sure won't. She don't never watch when she just be rolling up late. Like, hey, let's talk about this thing y'all talked about 15 minutes ago.
Right. So let me tell you. I had work. I forgot that I was booked to do The Hill. I had so much going on. I went to sleep at like 4 a.m. It's like, it's been a long week for me. It has, and it's only.
I'm sure you was on time for The Hill.
I was not. That's the thing. I wasn't. I forgot that I was booked for them. Like, I was not. So that's why I originally said I was going to be here at. That's why I was a few minutes late, because I had to pop in on them because I was going to be here at 9:30. So what happened was I already knew I was going to be here at 9:30 since yesterday because of work stuff. And then I forgot that I was with them. They gonna hit me up. Hey, I'm like, who is this Skyping me? It was them. So I said, before I pop back into my show, let me go ahead and honor, because they booked me for like 3 weeks, ago, and I totally forgot about it. So yeah, that's what happened, y'all. Thursday has been kind of weird, and
right.
It's been kind of weird, but I do want to let you guys know that my birthday is coming up it's on the 15th. And so don't forget about it. I'm not going to be here. So I'm letting you and Dwayne know that I'm not going to be here.
Bubba,
so
we got to make sure to say happy birthday on like the 19th. What she say? Is that what she said? The 19th?
The 19th.
I said the 15th. And I will be turning 32. But
all y'all Tauruses. My dad's birthday is May 19th. Yeah.
Like, it's the best people. Like, here come the always right, always shining, never wrong, really beautiful, always glowing. Don't need no sun. The sun follows me. There is no shade around here. Very talented, just really intelligent.
Bubba, do we have an affirmation for today? Do we have an affirmation for today?
Yeah. So the affirmation for let me start. That rattler came out real quick. Then I'm like, "Ooh, that's that rattler right there." She just
hailing from the highest of 7 hills, the highest of 7. You got the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida. That's me. I'm that Taurus, and I'm very, very proud of myself, and when you guys are gonna be proud of me too. So I said, if y'all this is where I'm gonna be at the show before we get in the stream. My girlfriend's like, in the stream. Listen, before I get out of here, I want you guys to know.
You messing up. She ready to go get margaritas. It's Cinco de Mayo. She ready to go start drinking.
She ready to go early.
I'm definitely off. I'm definitely going to call off in midday so I can get in my car and tick for tacos and margaritas. And possibly a movie. But if you guys haven't already, I want you guys to continue to help us build our platform. Bubba and I don't know Dwayne's situation. He seems like he's on, but he's off. I don't even know what his page looks like. Do you have an Instagram, Dwayne?
I do, but I hardly ever post anything on there.
Okay, but if you guys haven't already, get on social media. Help us build our following and things like that. We have you guys here watching us every day. I know that you guys are looking for great news. Today was more of a free for all. I wasn't here, so the kids came out to play certain kind of day, but it's always a good time with us because you never know what you're going to get at the top of the hour to the end of the hour. We're talking about from 8 a.m. on the Benjamin Dixon Show all the way down to Like It or Not. The conversations are always versatile. They're always very creative and colorful, and we always make it a point to insert some laughter into it. So if you don't like it, that's why are you here? That's your business. Because over here, it's a good time. It's always going to be a good time. And again, if you don't follow us, make sure you follow us. Right below, you'll see my Twitter handle at Rebecca Azor. That's my Twitter handle on Instagram. Now I'm letting people follow me on Instagram. I used to never want to do that because it's my personal life, and I don't want y'all to see me in the streets. Follow me on Instagram at TheSongstress, TheSongstress. Bubba, I think he's the same thing at
DJX3C on Twitter and Instagram. Yep.
Keep it light and keep it right.
Hold on. Hey, before we go, shout out to our partners at Act TV. Jocelyn McCurdy Keats was live down in DC this morning. So, what's the act.tv/join? But yeah.
Act.tv.
I love that man, bro.
Please, act.tv/join, act.tv/join. And if you are not a paying viewer to get the exclusives at the end of the day, right here on Like It or Not, please go patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not. Help us continue to grow this show. Help us continue to grow our platform. I love you guys for watching and every single day. Mean it. Oh,
I
and
like
make
that
sure you
industrial art. Don't just watch. Act a fool. We need a spinoff for Act TV. Do more than watch. Don't do more than watch. Act. But when we get to the after party, it's don't just watch. Act a fool. I love it.
Somebody said so blackingly. So that technically we're supposed to say don't just watch. Act. So now blackingly we're supposed to say when we get in the after party, don't just watch. Act the fool.
I hate y'all so much.
I love you guys. Go enjoy Cinco de Mayo. I'll see you guys on tomorrow. Love you, mean it. You guys are gonna get cussed out by Ben.
I hate y'all, man. Love y'all, mean it, man. Y'all affirmation for today. Oh, this is a good one. I celebrate the person I am, who I will always be, with or without depression. I celebrate the person I am, who I will always be, with or without depression. Y'all gonna be great, man. Love y'all, mean it. Enjoy your day. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Revenge of the 5th, and also Doctor Strange. It's Marvel Movie Day. I'll see y'all at the movies. Holla at y'all. Deuces.
It's where the people